Good morning, everyone. I'm Maria Quiroz, Interim Manager for Small Business Development Department. I'd like to welcome you all to the San Diego International Airport first virtual Meet the Primes event 2020. Most of us remember last year we were at the Balboa Park and had over 60 exhibitors and nearly 500 attendees. This year is definitely different, but we still want to provide small businesses the opportunity to outreach and connect with the primes. With that said, I want to welcome Swinerton Construction, who is our second presenter this morning. Welcome, Swinerton, and thank you for your participation. Please introduce yourself and your team.
Good morning. Thank you, Maria. We first want to thank the Airport Authority for hosting the Meet the Prime event. This is an event that we look forward to every year. And I was there last year and I saw the turnout. We had a really good turnout last year and got to meet a lot of folks in our local business and our small businesses. This year is a little different. As Maria said, it's Zoom. So unfortunately, we can't be there with you and meet you and have a conversation about what your business is. We also want to thank San Diego Unified for helping with this year's Zoom event. Sydney and Alma, thank you very much. This year, it's Meet the Prime, and we're here on Zoom with you. But for us, when we come to these events, it's Meet the Small Business, it's Meet the Local Business, the minority businesses, women-owned businesses. So it's just as much a meet for us as it is for you. And so we just thank you for taking your time, being here today with us. We're thrilled to be a part of this, and hopefully at the end you'll know a little bit more about Swinerton, and then of course we'll have some contact information for you so that if there's any questions after this event, you'll have people to reach out to. And so getting to know Swinerton is why we're here. We want you to understand who we are, our place in business in San Diego, and then of course in the nation. We have a poll that we would like to ask. We have a series of poll questions throughout our presentation. And our first one we're going to ask today is we're going to ask if have you worked with Swinerton in the past or on a present project? So if you could take a few moments and answer this question, we'd appreciate it.
Don't forget about the introductions, John.
Oh yes, I will. Thanks, Pete.
Why don't you do that now?
So as I said, my name is John Foster. I'm project executive with Swinerton. My target market for this area, one of them is aviation, which is why I'm here with you today. I was part of the T1 pursuit. I'm currently on another aviation pursuit down at SAN, and we also have a couple other airline projects at SAN that we're also pursuing. Kim, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. So hi, everyone. My name is Kim Patton. I'm the outreach manager for Swinerton. I worked on the outreach program for the Terminal 2 parking plaza and other outreach programs for Swinerton.
Good morning, everyone. B. Hajar. I am the pre-construction manager for San Diego Swinerton office.
Tom?
Tom Gannon. I am a project manager with Swinerton. I've done business down with the airport over, I think, since 2008, from the Terminal 2 expansion all the way to the parking plaza.
Thank you, Tom. So the poll that we asked you, so that we have 63% of the participants today that have not worked with Swinerton in the past or presently, and 37% that have. So those of you that are on with us that we worked with you, thank you for being with us today. And for those of you who haven't, we look forward to sharing information so you can get to know us. Next slide, the poll results are still up. Maria, you can, they're down now, okay. Next. So the agenda for today, we'd like to share some highlights with you. We'd like to discuss doing business with Swinerton, our pre-qualification process. We're also going to take you to our website today, kind of share with you what that looks like. because sometimes that process can be a little confusing. We're going to share with you some upcoming and some current work, and then finally some Q&A at the end. So first, the highlights. We're going to share with you some of our history corporately. Swinerton's has been in business since 1888, so we're going to share with you our history there. We're going to share with you our geographic outreach. We're going to share with you our rankings, and we're going to talk with you about our work that we have here in San Diego and its division in San Diego, and also about our self-perform capabilities. Tom, would you share with our audience about our history here at Swinerton?
Sure. As you can see here, Swinerton has a long, rich history starting in 1888. That's over 130 years in business. Started right here in California, in Los Angeles, when an immigrant started a masonry and a contracting business in Los Angeles. I believe it was 1927 when they started issuing contractor's license in California. We were one of the first in line and still operate under number 92. Funny story about that, I often get when putting that number on an application for a permit or such, they tell me it's a mistake. And I say, no, it's not. It's we really do have number 92, which is, I guess it's rare. So you can see our name years, it's progressed, I should say. In 2001, we became just Swinerton, dropped the Wahlberg from Swinerton and Wahlberg. And we've been that way ever since. A couple branding changes, but we will be that for as long as I can see. I believe it was, that's right there, 1942, we moved outside of California into Colorado. And Kim, if you can move to the next slide. As you can see today, we have 19 offices, and we're about to open the 20th in New York coming this spring in 2021. We are 100% employee owned, which is great because all of our employees have a great love for the company that I've seen. I've been here for 14 years, and it brings a sense of pride when you're working with Swinerton, and I've seen it passed down to our partners as well. As you can see on the bottom there, we have a couple other groups besides our general contracting, our Swinerton Management and Consulting Group, which we created to provide a better service for capital improvement projects such as that's going on in the airport and wherever we can help clients in the public sector mostly. Lindgren Building Supplies, we've developed to control some of our the supply chain, so we have more control over that, so we have better timing. Renewable energy started in 2008. We have over, I think it's 5 gigawatts of solar power in place now. We do a turnkey from design all the way to the management of the operations, which is Solve you see there. And our mass timber division just recently started in controlling the process of CLT development in the Northeast. And it's a really great look we've seen on these projects as well. And we're doing one right here in San Diego down on KETTNER. And it should be open by the end of the year. I think that's all I have. I'll turn it back to B.
So more centric to California, here's our rankings the last few years. This is last year. You can see we were number 1 by ENR rankings for the top contractor in California. Also green projects in the private sector, which is a lot of our work in California, multi-unit residential high-rise. Number 2 in healthcare, design, build, and hospitality. Number 8 in education, which we're trying to up the stakes here down in San Diego, bringing our target markets education team, chasing a lot of San Diego Unified work. Number 10 in general contracting across California, and number 18 in the top 400 contractors. More centric to San Diego. We've been doing work in San Diego since the late 80s, but the office was actually established in 1993. Followed a couple of clients down here and established the office really based on them. That's kind of how we're set up. That's how we're opening the New York office as well, is we have a good repeat client who wants us to do a job for them there, and we're kind of following them to New York and starting an office there. Largest contractor in San Diego for the last 4 years, 15 through 19, and best places to work. Number 1, San Diego Business Journal from 16 to 19. That includes every business, not just contractors. So that's something we take a lot of pride in. We have 110 to 120 salaried employees at any given time, and anywhere from 150 to 300 craft employees at any given time. Right now we have 27 project managers, senior project managers, and just over 30 superintendents now. We just hired another one or transferred another one.
Thanks, B. I'm going to share a little bit about our self-perform. Self-perform at Swinerton is a very key part of our business. We employ, as B said, anywhere from 150 to 300, upwards of 350 craft workers in San Diego. Self-perform is a business plan that we have across all of our divisions and all of our offices. So if you're a small business, vendor, supplying materials, equipment, other services that service self-perform, this is an area that we do a lot of work in. And so we self-perform metal stud and drywall, structural concrete, doors, frames, and hardware, which Tom mentioned earlier. Lindgren Building Supply is one of our supply chains for doors, frames, and hardware. Acoustic ceilings, miscellaneous specialties, and then we have a cleanup services division to keep our jobs clean and safe and very productive. The self-perform, I was part of Sequan project in East County from 2017 through 2019. And on that project, we self-performed structural concrete for the hotel tower. We did all the metal stud and drywall on that job, acoustical ceilings, specialties. So almost all of our services we did on that project, and it was very successful for the client and for the project. And the project finished ahead of schedule due to the controlling quality and controlling schedule with self-perform. And so when you're on our projects, what you'll see is we try to self-perform as much as we can. We don't self-perform on every project, every scope that you see here. We do have projects where we're not going to self-perform the concrete or the drywall or the framing, and we'll have that bid out with other subs. However, on those jobs, those are the jobs we control the schedule, and quality seems to be a better outcome for us. And the next, I would like to share with you our target markets. So first and foremost for today, aviation. Aviation market is also a national strategy for Swinerton. We have an aviation target market. We do aviation work out of most offices throughout our nation, across the country, I should say. And that currently Swinerton is pursuing work at San Diego Airport. We're at LAX. We've done work at John Wayne. We're pursuing work in Burbank. So up and down the coast in Southern California, we have quite a bit of aviation work that we're either doing or pursuing at this moment in time. We also have a target market division for parking structures. So whenever there's a parking structure, standalone parking structure unit associated with the project, that division for Southern California pursues and performs that work for us. We also do parking structures that are part of projects that aren't, your typical Cunningham long span garages that we perform with our craft forces in San Diego. We also, multifamily is a large market for us in San Diego and downtown. We've done and are doing and in the process of procuring multiple high-rise multifamily projects. Those projects have been a strong market, and they continue to be so in the future. Gaming is another market that we have done a lot of work in over the past decade. Gaming is slowing, but it is a market that still has potential depending on post-COVID results and how this turns out for those venues. Healthcare, again, kind of like parking structures, we have a target market for healthcare throughout the Southern California region, which includes Orange County, LA, and San Diego. And then adaptive reuse. We have a special projects division and also does, as you can see, tenant improvements. We're doing, I think, close to 100 million this year in special projects. That market has really grown for us in San Diego over the last few years, doing very well there. Hospitality, again, kind of like gaming. It's been a good, strong market. It's a market that we see is mixed. It did well up until last year, and it's kind of cooled off. A lot of people trying to understand what's going to happen with COVID. Life science is a new market for us in San Diego. Over the last couple of years, it's growing for us. It's an emerging market. We feel that's going to be there's going to be a lot of work in life science in San Diego. So we're really looking forward to that market. The office market has been a strong market for this division for many, many years. Will continue to be strong in this market. We have a lot of resume in this market, and we'll continue to pursue this work. And this goes with the SAN admin building that is coming up, and the RFP is coming out soon. I'll touch on that in a little bit. Also, higher education. Higher education is very important to Swinerton and San Diego with SDSU, with CSUSM, UCSD, USD. We understand that quite a bit of projects have been on hold due to COVID with the higher education, but we see that they'll be coming back hopefully sometime later next year. As I mentioned, TIs and then education K through 14. That's another one of our target markets that is a Southern California focused market, and much like our parking structures and our healthcare. So doing business with Swinerton, Kim, would you take us through some of our pre-qual and small business and outreach?
Yes. So I think first we want to do a poll or two polls actually. So if we can launch the first of the polls. So we just want to know who's on the line today. So if you're a subcontractor, vendor, consultant, or maybe you don't fall into those categories and you might be other, we just want to know who we're talking to today.
Okay, give me a few minutes and I'll stop and share the results.
Awesome. So it looks like we have a really good mix, mostly consultants, but some subs, vendors, and a little bit of the other. So that's good to know. We have one more poll. If you could launch that, Maria, that'd be great. So now we want to know if you have any of the following certifications. So SB, DVBE, I know there's a ton more certifications that aren't covered on this poll because, we're limited, but if you fall in these categories, we're interested in knowing. So it looks like we have a lot of small businesses on the line, which is wonderful. That actually lends well to what I'm going to talk about next, which is our corporate commitment to diversity and inclusion. Let's see. So basically, Swinerton is committed to diversity and inclusion within our own workforce as well as who we work with. Our corporate goal is to subcontract at least 20% of, subcontract and suppliers, 20% of our business. So the benefits of that are obviously it helps firms achieve long-term success, it enhances competition, and it provides real opportunity for those businesses. So it's really important, and that is part of our corporate culture. So we have an inclusionary approach, and this is really what we bring into each project. And the kind of 5 pillars of that are community, resources, commitment, opportunity, and education. And it's not really just one thing. As you can see, it's kind of like a mixture of all those things that helps us achieve inclusive business participation. So obviously, community is important. We want to get the community's feedback. On the resources end, we want to give those inclusive businesses the right resources in order to be successful on our projects and as well as their other projects. Commitment, I think, is really important. It's our company's commitment, our team's commitment. It's not a box to be checked. It's not just, we say we're going to do it. It's a real commitment to being better, to stimulate the local business economy, to include small businesses, veteran businesses, minority businesses. And then education is very important because, we set up workshops and things so that we can ensure the success of our partners. And so we have mentoring sessions, we do workshops, and then lastly, opportunity. It's really important that we structure our bid packages in order to maximize opportunity for everyone. So basically, we want to help open doors for you and ensure that our diverse business partners are successfully utilized. So as I mentioned earlier, I was a big part of the outreach program at the San Diego Airport's Terminal 2 Parking Plaza project. The agency goals that we set were 35% SBE and 80% local business participation. As you can see, we achieved over 42% small business participation and hit that 80% local, and that was on a almost $95 million project. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tom to talk more about this project and how we achieved these results.
Yeah, as Kim mentioned, we were pretty proud of what we were able to achieve, and it all started with being able to start up front right away. The Terminal 2 Parking Plaza, we started with the airport in late 2015, third quarter, I believe, and we were completed in 2018 by the fourth quarter. It's a 2,900 car structure, 3 stories, just under 1 million square feet. And it was design build, which really helped us to be able to get out front. When we started design in 2015, we started design with the goals of trying to maximize local and small business participation through our trade partners, starting working with them early. From day one, we were looking for the opportunities to bring small business and local business into our group. From formal outreaches such as this, to reaching out individually to each other to find the best fit who could work with us. We brought on small firms to help us with the design and with enabling projects as well. We identified the trade packages as we designed, like I mentioned early. We targeted the small business that we wanted to see for each package. We incorporated consultants and developed goals, not only for us, but for our larger partners to achieve as well, such as our electrician, some of the larger. We self-performed the concrete on this. We gave goals to our concrete division that they had to achieve as well. So it was an inclusionary approach. We incorporated everyone, and that's how we were able to achieve these goals in the long run. And with that, I'll turn it over to John to bring some of our upcoming work to highlight here. Oh, sorry, this is pre-qualification. Kim or John.
Tom, I think we have another poll because we want to know if you guys are pre-qualified with us. So if we can get that poll up, and we'll give you a few seconds to answer. So it looks like over half of you are not pre-qualified. So you're going to want to listen close to this this next section, because I want to tell you how to pre-qual with us. For those 23% that already are, that's awesome. Thanks for being our partners. So let's get into pre-qual. Listen up, 54%. So pre-qualification is for subcontractors. I want to make that clear. So if you are in that vendor, consultant, or other category, then you don't need to pre-qual with us. But if you are a subcontractor, you certainly do need to pre-qual with us. The application is done online. In a moment, I'll show you what the requirement. What the required documents are, and the link is on our website, which I'll also show you in a minute. If you're renewing, and it's important to note that you do have to renew this every year to be active, then you'd want to reach out to our pre-qual team. So these are the required documents to pre-qual with us. Obviously, there's a financial. We need some sort of financials from your company. We want to know your contractor's license, insurance, your W-9. If you have a letter of bondability, definitely your safety MR is very important. We're very big on safety. And lastly, if you hold any of those certifications, and it seemed like a lot of you were small businesses, we definitely want to know. Have a copy of your certifications. So I'm going to quickly show you our Swinerton website. So if you go to swinerton.com, www.swinerton.com, you're going to see this this page. You want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and then in this useful link section, you're going to want to select subcontractors, and that will take you to this page. Obviously, one of these is subcontractor pre-qual. This is what I was just mentioning, where you need to submit all your documents. There's also other useful information like our current bid opportunities. Definitely check that out. Sample agreements. So when you do get work with us, we use a standard MSA that we have, and it's for 5 years. You'd want to sign that. Information on our insurance, our labor agreements, and then also BIM 360 training for subs. That's just resources you can use if you need help with BIM 360. But all this information is here, easily accessible on our website. I'll show you with the sub pre-qual. So this is, again, the same documents that I just showed you. And the link for new people is right here. So new subcontractors to Swinerton, you'd want to click that link. It's important to note that you want to get all this stuff together, saved on your computer before you start doing the application. Just so, because I don't know if you can go back and forth and do it, you want to have everything ready so you can just upload it all in one shot. And then there's other important information about the process. And then I just want to quickly show you the current bid opportunities. So Swinerton just is moving over to the Building Connected portal. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with that, as a lot of our other contractors use that as well. So this has different opportunities in all of our different offices, and it also has contact information for our different offices. It's really, really helpful. So all that information is there for San Diego. You can see it's right here. So yeah, just wanted to make sure you know where to go, Swinerton.com. So let me switch back. Sorry, I'm having to get back to the right spot. Alrighty. John, take it away.
Thanks, Kim. So B and I are going to share with you a little bit about our upcoming and current work. You know, the purpose for today is not just to, you know, get to know Swinerton and potentially work with Swinerton on a sand project, but this is, you know, working with Swinerton in San Diego or even other offices. So if you're a small business that happens to be in another location that Swinerton is at, as Kim was sharing with you, please go on to our website and find out what opportunities we have that might be able to be something in your business plan. So with our current and upcoming work, we want to take a poll here, Maria. We want to ask, do you have experience working on a project labor / stabilization agreement project? Yes or no? Okay, so 35% of you have experience and 65% do not. And you know, if you're not familiar, project labor agreement is what is going to be used on the T1 and the airport development plan projects. The project stabilization agreement is a term used for San Diego Unified projects. So you may have worked, if you've worked on San Diego Unified, that you would be under one of those. The PLA for SAN right now with the ADP is being developed and negotiated by Turner, who has the T1 replacement project that was currently awarded to them. And so the project that we're going to be talking to you about, one of them is SAN admin building, will be under the same PLA that Turner develops and Turner negotiates. So that's a document that's not completed yet. That's a document that's going to be completed in the near future. And if you have any questions after this presentation, of course, we'd be glad to answer those. And then if you want any follow-up contact information regarding the PLA for SAN, be happy to talk with you about that in the future. Kim, could you take us to the next slide? So this is the SAN admin building that currently there's an administrative building just east, south and east of the current T1 terminal. And this is going to be relocated with a new ground up admin office building that's going to be at the west end of Terminal 2, down near McCain and the exit for Terminal 2. This project, the stage it's in is between RFQ and RFP. We are one of 3 shortlisted teams currently, and the RFP is expected mid-November. The award for this project is expected to be in May of 2021. the airport is aligning the award of this project with the award of the Terminal 1 replacement. They don't want to get the admin building ahead of that because they need to be planned together. And so we have teamed with Gensler and Miyamoto and Aurora. Those are our 3 consultants currently on our design build team. Right now, the airport doesn't allow us to add any consultants to our team or sub-consultants until award. They typically will be part of the process in selecting who those consultants would be. This project is just north of 100 million for a budget. This project is about 18 months of construction. The design will start once it's awarded in May. It'll be about 6 months of design before construction starts. And there is some make ready work that will take place there's some existing trailers on site that need to move. So there's quite a bit of scope here with this project. And we're really looking forward to winning this one. Next, Kim. So this is a short list, or not short, but this is a list of some of our upcoming opportunities. 2 of these are at SAN. Southwest Airlines and United Airlines are going to be taking portions of the ASB building where Sant is currently constructing that project. I think it completes in November next month. And so those RFPs are out right now. We are competing for those 2 projects, and those are due at the end of this month. I think United is November 3rd. And then we'll know who is awarded those projects shortly thereafter, and then we'll be putting those in our system for invitation for bids. Union and Ash is a project we have in pre-construction, is getting ready to start downtown. It's a multifamily high-rise. The Lindley is another project in pre-construction, high-rise, Farkas building, 13th and Broadway. There's a lot of downtown work on this list. MS 707 Broadway, another one that is in pre-con. PMA, the 3030 Callan, this is with a repeat client that we're looking forward to doing this project. 4th and B is another multifamily. This is with an overseas client that's coming to San Diego. This is a project we've been tracking for a couple of years. Hopefully we'll begin construction early 2021. Caden California Theater is another project that we're pursuing. It's in pre-construction. It's not yet awarded. Legoland, we've completed current project at Legoland recently this year, and they have additional work that they're going to be doing up there that we're doing with them. And then Whitman Elementary, again, as I mentioned earlier, our target market for education, K through 14. This is our target market group. We, in our office in San Diego, we're up in Rancho Bernardo. We have our target market, healthcare and education employees we're all in the same building together up here. So if you're interested in a K through 14 project or healthcare or parking structure, those individuals are with us here in the Rancho Bernardo office with B and I, Tom and Kim. And B, why don't you share with us some of our current and completed projects?
Okay, we decided to pick some projects that were relevant to the upcoming SAN administration building. Right now, there's a 3-building complex we're doing with a repeat client and project management advisors for Health Peak Properties. It's called BOARDWALK project. There will be 3 separate buildings. It looks like they've got a lot of interest from potential tenants. So there will be also hopefully TIs. Whether we get those or not is yet to be determined, but we'll try. So we're looking forward to the progress on this project, which is currently under construction. Next is KETTNER and HAWTHORN for Kilroy Realty. The architect we teamed with on this was Gensler Architects. This is the one that you probably heard Tom mention. There's a CLT project, cross-laminated timber project downtown. The rooftop terrace of this project is done by our self-perform CLT group out of Portland. They came down and actually erected the top portion of the roof, which you can see kind of, peeking out over the left top corner of the building there. This project should be done early next year, and they're already looking at possible tenants for this one as well. One we just recently completed for Kilroy Realty Development as well, 9455 Town Center Drive in University Town Center area. Beautiful design, flat architects out of San Francisco, a separate parking structure, which is kind of behind you if you're looking at this picture. It came out really, really nice. The full building tenant on this one. I don't know if that's public client, but let's just say they're a really big tech company with a lot of people's phones, their phones in people's hands. They're going to take this whole building. It's really a beautiful, beautiful building. And one we just finished last year was for ResMed, MEDIMPACT second, sorry, not ResMed, MEDIMPACT second building, which is what you see here in a parking structure with the solar canopies on it. That was an extension of the MEDIMPACT campus at Scripps Poway Parkway. And hopefully, if everything goes well, all that dirt you see on the other side is plans for a brand new retail center, which John's been working on probably for the last couple of years, which probably would have been going by now if it wasn't for COVID. But we're seeing signs of that possibly coming back as well, which would be pretty exciting. Supposed to have a Whole Foods and some other markets in there, and a lot of retail and also low-rise residential.
Thanks, B. So this comes to our last slide. This is, we're going to open up for Q&A. There's contact information, myself. We have Kim Patton, who's with us today, and Megan Macias, who could not be with us today, but she is the one behind the pre-qualification process. So if there's questions during that process, she would be the one that you're going to reach out to if you need help getting through that process. So we'd like to open up to any Q&A. I think we have about 15 minutes left. So any questions that we could answer, we appreciate it. And again, thank you for taking your time to be with us today and learning a little bit about Swinerton.
Thank you, John. Yes, we definitely have quite a few questions, a really active chat here with a lot of questions regarding, actually to start off, professional services. A lot of folks here seem to be involved with design, geotechnical, special inspections, things of that nature. So folks are interested in how they can get connected with Swinerton. Should they pre-qualify? Is pre-qualification not required for them? How can they get connected on all these opportunities that you have coming up?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Alma. So sub-consultants and consultants are not required to get pre-qualified with us. We do a lot of design build work. And so the best way to get in touch with us, you have my contact here. We have about 5 PXs in San Diego office that take our projects from cradle to grave. B is intimately involved in our design build pursuits. B has a strong background in architecture and in design build. And so he is another good resource to get in touch with. With regard to the SAN projects, the RFPs are very specific in who we are allowed to team with in the beginning, and then it opens up later on. So what we want to do is before that project gets to the point where we need to select, we need to build a list of potential consultants. And then from that list, we identify obviously which ones are small business and which ones are local business. And then we want to team with the airport in selecting who those sub-consultants will be. If you have relationships, for instance, with SAN, if you have relationships with Gensler or Miyamoto or Aurora, and you have contacts there, that would be a place to start as well, is making sure that you reach out to them, knowing that you are also interested in that project. But we have quite a few projects in San Diego that are design, build, delivery, and where we select the consultants. And so you would just reach out to our office. We don't have a pre-qualification process, though, a formal one for consultants. It's just building relationships, getting to know each other, going to lunch, spending some time, maybe touring projects together, maybe walk our projects or walk your projects.
Excellent. Perfect. Yeah, it sounds like, there's definitely opportunities, but the relationship building needs to happen beforehand. So
Absolutely.
for all of you material suppliers out there, professional services, all you folks that are interested in working with Swinerton, make sure you reach out to John. Make sure you reach out to Kim. If John is not your contact, Kim will also be able to refer you to who you need to talk to at Swinerton to get the information and to get you connected with who you need to talk to for specific projects and professional services needs. Next question involves staffing. We know that Swinerton is a big company. You've been around for a long time. Do you all ever need consultants for staffing?
B, you want to take that?
Yeah, I think all of that runs through our craft services as far as our craft labor goes. If you're talking about headhunters, we don't use headhunters. We actually have our own HR department in-house that deals with that. So we don't use outside vendors for headhunters, for instance. But for craft services, I believe that's all handled through our managed through our Concord office. We can put you in touch with the right person for that.
I could add a little bit, depending on the job size, we do look for specific admin help sometimes if there's a specific need. For example, on the parking plaza, we did need to handle a lot of cost changes, and we went out to local firms to see who had the expertise in that, and was able to come up to firms to help us there, as well as in QA/QC areas as well. So it really depends on the need, but we do look for quality groups that can help us in that area.
And
Yeah.
to kind of speak to that a little bit more, as far as consultants go, because I've seen a lot of questions from consultants, whether we self-perform SWIP, some of the quality control consultants. It just depends on the job, the delivery method, and what consultants we're going to be hiring or reaching out to versus that of the owner. It just depends on a job by job basis. Typically on a pure design build job, we'll be responsible for building a team. But a lot of what we do in the private sector is affords the owners the luxury of design build, let's call it design assist, but contractually they still hold all the contracts for the consultants. So it really just depends on the job. I think we could probably give you a pretty good lay of the land based on what's out there right now. If you contact us directly, I think that's the best way to do it. But if you are looking to work on Swinerton jobs, that doesn't mean you need to be working for Swinerton. We can put you in touch with the owners, special inspections, stuff like that, that the owners usually procure. We can put you in touch with the right people so that at least you're able to give them the information from your company and help you get that, get in the door, so to speak.
And just to add a quick to that, and we do strategize with our major consultants. If we're already teamed, say we're teamed with the architect or structural engineer, we do strategize with them on supplemental staff for their firms as well. So you might not be supplemental staff to Swinerton, but you might be to an architect or a structural engineer that we team with.
Excellent. I really like that you brought that up, John, because a lot of times we tell folks, and working at the school district, I've had to tell folks too that we won't directly contract with you, but we do have different we have different opportunities that can come up through other contracts with the school district. So yeah, so we have a lot of questions regarding scope, very scope specific questions, and my response has been in general to all of the contractors and folks here is that usually our primes will need every type of scope available. There's questions about signage, there's questions about inspections, electrical design, all kinds of flooring, heated floor spaces, all this kind of stuff. I guess one way to focus this, is there any work that Swinerton self-performs and is not interested in looking for? And is there any special focus contracting needs that you're finding it difficult to find contractors for at this time?
So with regards to our self-perform, we look at ways to, for opportunities on every project for the list of self-perform trades that I had shown previously. Signage is sometimes can be difficult to get coverage on depending on the type of signage. Oftentimes we'll get a call from a specialty that needs to be a second tier sub to another sub. And we wouldn't necessarily hire that specialty separate. Sometimes it comes as a package. And so if we get that call, or if you're that specialty type of contractor, then we will put you in touch with those companies that are on our pre-qual list that we know are bidding that project. And so, to include you in the job still, giving you a fair shot at getting on the project, that's how we would do that. The way we package the project, I think, dictates that. We generally get pretty good coverage in San Diego. I would say most subcontractors that work for us are repeat subcontractors. They like working with us. They're our partner. It's not us against them. Without them, we don't succeed. So we understand the value with vendors, subcontractors, all of our partners, sub-consultants, consultants. We're a team. Without being a team, we're not going to survive. So any way we can to help align specialty trades with another sub, if that's not a package that we're bidding out separately, we do that.
Excellent. Perfect. That's a great way to create the team, right? To create the connections and introduce folks to some of your prime subcontractors and say, hey, you might not be working directly with us, but this is the sub that you would be talking to for, let's say, emergency lighting or something that's really specific that maybe you wouldn't bid out as its own bid package, so to speak, that it could be inclusive of a whole bunch of scope. You would let those folks know who the prime sub is and connect them so that they could get on the contract and be part of your team. And I imagine that Kim would be the first point of contact for those connections. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if anyone has any questions and they don't know who to who to direct them to, I'm always happy to be the person that gets that information to the right other person. So feel free, anyone on the line, to contact me if you don't know who to reach out to at Swinerton.
Excellent. We have two more questions for the group. One is very specific to some of the projects that you mentioned a little earlier in your presentation. We have a question asking what are the type of projects for Southwest and United? This was asked by a design sub-consultant. So they're trying to figure out, how they can get involved in these projects, particularly for Southwest and United. What's being planned for them?
Yeah, those two projects are tenant improvement projects. So currently there's a set of drawings that are out and that we are looking at. And so those projects are quick. I think they're 4, 5 month construction durations. I'm not sure exactly. Liz Hawkins is our project executive for special projects in San Diego. And those are two projects that fall under her management. So she's right now leading the RFP pursuits on Southwest and United. So if you're interested in more information about those two projects, you can contact me and I'll put you in contact with her or with the lead estimator on the project.
Excellent. Thank you, John. And our last question for today before we end our hour with Swinerton is if folks are interested in receiving bid solicitations and they are a supplier, so therefore they don't necessarily have to pre-qualify with Swinerton, how can they receive bid solicitations? Is there a notification system that Swinerton has so that folks can automatically receive bid solicitations?
So I would say contact Kim. She'll put you in contact with either our concrete or drywall services, because our drywall services covers acoustical ceilings. It covers doors, frames, hardware, cleanup. It covers a larger variety of trade scopes. So I would contact her. She'll put you in contact with the right person who can then go over that process and how they get the vendors on the list, because they do solicit multiple vendors for pricing. Even though it's not in our formal bid solicitations for subcontracts, they do have a process that they can go over with you.
Excellent. This is great because we have a lot of folks on here that, again, they're suppliers or they do cleaning, and construction cleaning. And so, they may not necessarily fall in that pre-qualification, but they definitely want to get interested in being part of the Swinerton team. So, so that's a great contact for you, Kim. I have the same role at the school district. I get a lot of emails that may not necessarily be relevant to construction, but we at least know where to point you and try to put you in the right direction to get some questions answered for you. So for those of you that still have some questions or are not sure about a question now, but are coming up with questions maybe later in the day, please make sure to contact Kim. She will put you in the right direction to get questions answered for you for Swinerton. And for now, it looks like that's all the time we're going to have with the Swinerton team. Thanks to our presenters for all of your insight and for answering all of your questions. I'd like to bring Maria back on for the last few words before we end our hour here. Maria, back to you.
Thank you, Alma. And thank you all for participating in the presentation with Swinerton this morning. I want to remind everyone that our next presenter will be Turner Construction at 4 o'clock today. Also, I hope that by now you have all gotten the opportunity to watch the welcome message on Meet the Primes event page on Eventbrite of Kim Becker, President and CEO of the San Diego County Regional Airport, to learn about upcoming opportunities at the airport. If you haven't gotten the chance to watch the welcome message, please make some time to do so. Today is our first day of 5 exciting days with an abundance of valuable information to help your business grow. So please pay attention, contact us, circle back with us. If for any reason you can't remember who you want to call or how to contact somebody, circle back with us and we will be able to help you. We will be emailing a survey at the end of day 5, which is next week. Please take the time to complete the survey for us to help us improve these events. A special thank you to Swinerton Construction for the excellent presentation and to our support team. We couldn't do this type of events without your support. We will be closing this session now, and we will be back this afternoon with Turner Construction at 4. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.